I'm in the middle of a mayor campaign, so very difficult to do so. So what I'll just quickly run through some of the proposals here. And it says summary A, add online undertakings for the transmission or retransmission of programs over the internet as a distinct class of broadcasting undertakings. So right off the bat in clause A in the summary, they're stating that they want to actually make internet broadcasting, like what I'm doing right now, the same thing as radio. They want to make it the same class. All right. B, update the broadcasting policy for Canada set out in Section 3 of that Act by, among other things, providing that the Canadian broadcasting system should serve the needs and interests of all Canadians, including Canadians from racialized communities. Like, why? Race? Why do we talk about this stuff here? Racialized communities and Canadians of a diverse ethnoculture backgrounds, and should provide opportunities for Indigenous persons programming that reflects Indigenous cultures and that is in Indigenous languages, and programming that is accessible without barriers to persons with disabilities. Let's cover everything wrong with that. I mean, we're not going to get through this whole thing today because right there, that's probably 10 minutes worth of stuff to cover.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So first off, Indigenous doesn't mean anything. There's no legal definition for Indigenous at all. This is that word they use to say white people are bad. That's it. All right. It means nothing at all. So we can scrap that. Now let's also go back through this. Providing that Canadian broadcasting system should serve the needs and interests of all Canadians. What serves the need of all Canadians more than the internet currently? I'm sure more people are watching this show than are watching CTV news broadcasts right now. Okay. Why? Because they can. It's the internet. Why? Because I can broadcast on the internet. And why? Because what we do is far more interesting than anything on CTV. So I would say that I'm serving a very big need right now for Canadians who just want to get a different perspective, an honest perspective, a conservative perspective, a slightly right of center a view on things. Okay. So we're serving Canadians' needs right there. But as for racialized communities, I mean, are we not supposed to have just stopped talking about this race stuff? Everybody of every race, creed, color, religion, way of life, height, weight, sexual orientation, everyone's welcome to watch the show. And the only time you ever get blocked is when you begin being a profane jerk in Facebook or on any of the platforms where we can actually block you. As soon as you're that, you're gone. But aside from that, everyone's welcome to watch this show. And we're quite aware of the fact that it's a lot of government officials, a lot of police departments, a lot of crown attorneys, they're all watching this show and documenting everything that we're doing. And as much as I would say that they're watching it for the wrong reason, they're still entitled to be here and watch it. So what would need to change in the law at all? Because I'm not stopping anybody from coming here. I'm encouraging everyone to be here. Next, we should... so including Canadians from racialized communities who are welcome here, Canadians of diverse ethnocultural backgrounds who are welcome to watch this show, and should provide opportunities for Indigenous persons who are all welcome to watch this show, programming that reflects Indigenous cultures. But we have APTN, the television network, and anybody can talk about whatever they want on the internet. So where are the Indigenous programs online? I don't know because I don't go looking for them. In fact, I don't know because I don't have time to watch anybody else's YouTube channel. What I will do when I need 5 minutes to decompress is I'll watch Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson. And those are about the only two guys right now that I'm paying attention to on YouTube. And even then, I get 5 minutes of it. My head's clear. I move on to what I've got to do. But if you are Indigenous, sorry, let's not use that word. If you're native, if you're an Indian, all right, from North America, and you feel like talking about how to make dream catchers, you've got the right to do so. Or if you'd rather just be an Indian guy who doesn't care about the fact that your skin might be a little bit darker than mine, and you just want to have a comedy show, then you go ahead.
Or an Indian guy that sells coffee like I do.
There you go.
Right?
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. You do what you want.
All the power to you. At least you're doing something for the community and you're giving back.
Yeah. So do what you want online, guys. See, specify that the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission Yeah, you don't want to know what I actually call them. Must regulate and supervise the Canadian broadcasting system in a manner that, one, takes into account the different characteristics of Indigenous language broadcasting. There it is again. So if you're white, we're going to take your rights away. That's kind of what I'm hearing right now. Two, is fair and equitable as between broadcasting undertakings in providing similar services. That's none of your business. All right. Anyone that runs a show on the internet is doing it on their own time. All right. The government's not paying me to do this.
Nope.
I get no money from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I get no money from the Canadian government. I get no money from the CRTC. And quite frankly, I get nothing from the FCC in the United States.
None of it.
It's none of your business what I do. I'm doing this because I want to. All right. Three, and it's fair for me to do this. What's unfair is that Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and Twitter won't let me broadcast. Why don't you guys go out and protect my right to be on those platforms? How does that sound? Three, facilitates the provision of programs that are accessible without barriers to persons with disabilities. Oh my God. How stupid is that? If you're in a wheelchair, you can watch this show. If you're on a cane, you can watch this show. Yeah. If you've got a big...
accommodate everybody.
If you've got a bleeding hemorrhoid, you can watch the show. If you have any type of mental illness whatsoever, you can watch the show. Yeah, if you're too short or too tall or too fat or too skinny or too gorgeous...
Or if you got one eye.
Yeah, if you're too gorgeous like me, you're all allowed to watch this show, okay? There is... Everybody in this country and on this planet is allowed to watch this show. So I don't need Bill C-10 to tell me anything or to tell you anything either.
The sky's the limit, guys. The sky's the limit.
Number 4, takes into account the variety of broadcasting undertakings to which that act applies and avoids imposing obligations on a class of broadcasting undertakings if doing so will not contribute to a material manner to the implementation of this broadcasting policy. So let's word that one, man. If anything that you do is going to limit me, then you're not contributing to my broadcasting capacity in any way. And honestly speaking, we don't have the equipment that CTV has. We don't have the camera gear. We don't have someone watching a switchboard over here. Derek, Ed's busy today. Derek's got a board this wide that costs us $250. Not those $500,000 boards that CTV or CBC has. It's a $250 board. There it is, right there. All right, that's it. That's what Derek has. And he's controlling everything on his own laptop right there. There we go. And there's hats and there's lights and it's a bit of a mess in here. All right. So tell me in Bill C-10, what benefit it's going to be to us to have them interfere with what we do.
And I'm pretty sure you guys seen my mobile broadcasting system there the other day at the courthouse. I showed you what it looks like. I have 2 phones, a microphone, and a gimbal.
Yeah, it's it.
And I have my switchboard, you know.
And I've got a cell phone with dead pixels now. So I got big black dots on my screen that I can't. It's ridiculous, guys. So Bill C-10's not giving me any money. And Mitzi says, ask the government for $600 million. Well, I'd have to be a far left nut that says it's okay to marry.
If we take money from them, then we're obliged to follow their regulations.
Yeah, well, I'd
rather not take their money. No,
that's right. Well, I'm not